Hi, you ready for a story? I am. It's been a while. In December, we read many books by Jan Brett, and I think they were mostly Christmas books. Well, Jan Brett writes some wonderful books about animals, and many of them are in the winter. So today we're going to start with one of my favorites. Ooh, T-H-E. Can you read it? The. Now we're going to do the sounds. It. Can you put that together? Mit. N. 10. Ready? Mit. 10. Mitten. That's how we do it. Read it with me. The Mitten. Adapted and illustrated by Jan Brett. That means that you are going to see the book, The Mitten, written by many authors, but they're all a little different. Adapted means that she got the idea from an old story, but she changed it to be something that she likes. And look at this. See how the back cover looks like it's all made out of wood? Pretty clever, I think. All right, it's got a beautiful book jacket to protect it. The Mitten, a Ukrainian folktale adapted and illustrated by Jan Brett. For Sylvia, Kyle, Ruth Ann Johnson, Rebecca, Liam, and Tad Bagley. You wrote a book right before Christmas. Did you dedicate it to anyone? You don't have to, but you might want to next time. And remember, there's the borders. It's hard to show it all in one picture. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as the snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them. After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. Has Nicky noticed that yet? Doesn't look like it. He's still playing with one mitten in his pocket. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten and he wiggled in feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Does Nicky know what's going on with his mitten? I don't think so. Next, a badger came shuffling along. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Has Nicky discovered his mitten is missing? Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left. But when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. See, there's nothing in the thumb yet. Can you tell who's next? It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox pushed his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be, but what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its size, but Baba's good knitting held fast. Now see what's happening? Has he noticed? He's only got one. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wiggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. See, Mickey, he's looking. He doesn't know what's going on. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Ah, ka-choo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. Isn't that a great picture she made? Now we see the animals in the borders, and look what Nicky's noticing. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. As he ran to catch his mitten, his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his white mittens. Now this page has no words. Tell somebody sitting next to you what you think Baba is noticing. Does Baba and Nicky know what happened? Do the animals know what happened to Nicky and his mitten? The people who read the book, you and I, we know the secret. And it's a wonderful one. And we're going to talk more about Jan Brett's book tomorrow with a special little project. Have a great day, boys and girls.